Good morning, everybody. This is Inga Cotton, and it's time for another Charter Moms Chat. And today it's Thursday, March 26th, and this one's going to be a little shorter. Sorry, I'm running a little late today. I'm doing some writing. I just feel like I have a lot on my mind, so I'm going to kind of share a little bit about what I'm writing on, so that I'm still sorting out in my mind and not ready to put it out there yet, but. So I read that the title of this one is "Feeling Salty." So I'm trying to take control back of our lives and our plans and things like that. And I'm going through some grief thinking about the things that we haven't been able to do for the past few weeks, and we may not be able to do for a while, since City of San Antonio is under a stay-at-home order through April 9th. So we're still grocery shopping. Yesterday we went to the drive-through pharmacy and we dropped off some mail in the blue mailbox, and we went for a little walk in our neighborhood, staying 6 feet away from anybody we saw. But that's about the extent of the activities that we can safely do these days. So I'm experiencing grief about just not being able to have the life that I want to have. And a shout out to my friend April May of. She's a fantastic blogger on the South Side who's done so much with like the South Side Chamber and promoting businesses on the South Side. And April's posted a few pictures lately about just how much it sucks to be stuck at home when you're somebody who wants to explore and wants to grow and wants to share the abundance of all the cool stuff that's happening in our cities. And so April, I really feel what you're going through, because I really miss that, and I'm just not able to do it. So. So taking this back to education, right? And so I'm going to shout out to someone I really admire. So Dr. Charles Cole he's two of the 8 Black Hands on the 8 Black Hands podcast, which you really should subscribe to. They've had a couple of episodes recently that have been very relevant and very raw about what's happening. How is coronavirus affecting families, especially. Their message basically is that especially Black families and Black children have gotten the raw deal on education for decades. And so one of Charles's sayings is, "Fam, you are on your own." So he's specifically talking to Black families, saying that you need to make choices to look out for your children, because the system is sometimes looking out for the system. The system's not necessarily looking out for your children. But that as parents, we can look out for our children. So I've been thinking about that. How does that apply during the current situation? So basically, there's a huge experiment going on about distance learning, and I know that the schools and the teachers are doing their best, and the principals, they're trying to take on these new tools. They're going way outside their comfort zone, and I really salute them, because I know they're working super hard. But as parents, we need to always keep our filter up and think about how is this impacting our children. So again, just to reinforce what Dr. Charles Cole says, fam, you are on your own. So you are the one who decides how your children will be educated. So maybe you liked that school for how their classroom experience was, but maybe the distance learning situation isn't working. So, I would say communicate with your teachers, get more explanation, and then, think about in the long term, what's going to be best for your family. I think about something I saw on Twitter. So there's an education writer that I follow named Kara Fitzpatrick, and her husband is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. And he was looking at his child's English language arts assignment, and there was a short passage. This is like early childhood, a short passage, and asking the children to find the main idea. And he was just stunned by, he's like, that's not the main idea. Like, that's a title. That's not the main idea. And just what this is. I'm sure this is happening over and over again across the country. Like, we're seeing our kids' curriculum up close and personal in ways that we really never have before, right? Because parents are being inserted in this process on a wide scale. And I know my friend Colleen Dippel in Houston, she's also tweeted about this. Like, when you see your kids' curriculum up close, is it everything you thought it was going to be? So I would say for our own experience as Great Hearts parents, I am very impressed with what the teachers are doing, especially because Great Hearts is known as being kind of low tech. Like the students rarely use computers on campus, only for occasionally for testing or things like that. And so the fact that the teachers have pivoted so quickly to delivering like really rich curriculum online, and my kids really enjoy doing their packets. The last I heard was that Great Hearts is going to adopt a more intensive online system. I think it's Google Classroom. But yeah, I think a lot of, Maribel, hello, she's commenting. She said, finally we're getting this curriculum. So Maribel is an SISD parent, and she's with a great group called Mindshift Ed, which you really should join their group. Like, they are very dynamic and, really empowering parents. So yeah, SISD families are getting access to the online curriculum. I think it's today, right? So my advice though, as a parent activist to other parents, is just be observant and keep the filters up. So like one thing that it's not at my kid's school, but at other schools, it's almost like they're trying to use online tools to more closely recreate the public school classroom experience, with things like having kids at the computer on a Google Hangout or a Zoom call, for a period of time, to try to recreate sort of the discussion or the interaction that's happening in class. I can tell you that that would not be a good fit for my children, and honestly, I'm not aware of any homeschool situation that did that on the scale that's what some schools are doing. So let me back this up a little bit. If that works for you, if your school is providing hour after hour of online instruction through a video format, and that works for you, go for it, do it. But what I'm saying is, if that doesn't work for your kids, if that doesn't support their emotional needs, if that doesn't give them enough physical activity, if that makes them uncomfortable, look out for your kids' emotional needs first. So I was joking about this in a mom's group that I'm in. It's like, okay, I'm this self-professed education expert, okay, and I really care about my kids and all kids getting prepared for the future and getting a good quality education. But if in this short-term situation, their emotional needs are not being met, and you don't want them having to log in at a certain time every morning, and you don't like getting nagged by an electronic system telling you to log in at a certain time every day, or you don't want them staring at a video screen hour after hour, stand up and look out for your kids, okay? You are the first line of defense to make sure that you are okay. Again, I'm going to go back to what Dr. Charles Cole says, fam, you are on your own, okay? So this is a really weird situation, and you have to look out for your kids' emotional needs and their safety first, okay? So that is why I call this the feeling salty episode, right? I really, really care about learning, but this is a really weird situation. And so be prepared to push back and think about what's going to be best for your kids in the long run. That's kind of what I'm writing about. I feel very out of control right now because I'm a planner, right? I like to know what's coming. And for SA Charter Moms, we had all this whole playbook of events and blog posts and the app and stuff. And I feel like we've had to hit pause on a lot of that stuff, right? Because we want to be here to help you with what you're dealing with right now, right? Which is what we are all dealing with, which is being stuck at home and wanting our kids to be safe and somehow keep learning and somehow us keep working and find some eggs. I don't know. So fingers crossed that Walmart will have some milk for us this afternoon when we go at 3 p.m. Hope so. We'll see. We're not out yet. We're fine. So, but because I've had friends message me, be like, "Hey, I'm going to the store." No, we're okay. We have a couple gallons in the fridge, but we're just trying to plan ahead for the next couple days after that. And so we're trying to minimize how many trips we have to take outside the house. My health and safety, the health and safety of my family depends on the 2 million people in Bexar County making good choices, and that makes me feel very out of control because in the short run, we really, really, really need to stay home. And which goes back to take care of your family's emotional needs. So yes, it's great to be able to log in and do video chats and do worksheets and whatever. But you know what? If you're like that writer in New York and you look at the worksheet and you're like, this doesn't make sense to me. This is actually not good curriculum. You know what? Push back, because your kids deserve good stuff. If you feel like your kid is being asked to do too much stuff on a screen and it's not okay, you're not okay with that, it's not good for their well-being, you know what? Just step back from it, okay? Go play in the backyard or go do some cooking, you know, do a sewing lesson, do some kids yoga. Like, there are lots of beneficial things you can do with your kids, okay? There's gonna have to be some kind of process, you know, as things get back to normal, where the schools are doing assessments and figuring out, you know, what are the gaps that need filling and stuff. But like, everybody's gonna have gaps, right? So don't worry about your kids getting behind or something. Just make sure that they are safe and that they know they are loved. And what a piece of good advice I saw, someone I also really admire, Robert Pundicio, is a wonk at the Fordham Institute. Also, he teaches civics at Democracy Prep, which is a New York-based charter school network, which actually has a campus here in San Antonio at Stewart. So he's advising families, like, do talk about current events with your kids. Now, it has to be age appropriate, but I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and we've been talking about it at the dinner table since like mid-January. And there were times when my son said, please don't talk about coronavirus anymore. And we'd take a break. But I mean, my husband and I, we've been analyzing it and, you know, following the news. And I mean, yes, you do need to step back from it sometimes. You need to go play outside or just enjoy a good meal or just watch a movie and be like, wow, people are hugging each other. Wow, they just shook hands. Wow, like, that looks so weird, right? You know, enjoy some anachronistic entertainment. But like, this is a moment your kids they'll remember this if they're old enough, and they'll remember how they felt, and they'll remember, you know, what choices you made, right? Did you make choices that were for the good of the community? And there's going to be suffering happening around us, and we need to be able to, you know, hold space for that and support our kids as they kind of talk through that, right? Because they're going to be worried about their relatives. They're going to be wondering why can't they hug grandma or grandpa? You know, why can't they have as many play dates? You know, like, we're all going to be dealing with this. So that is my salty episode today. And I'm going to go back and do some more writing, and hopefully I'll have something in written form that I can share with you all soon, as I try to take control of this situation that is really out of control. So, but remember, as in the words of Dr. Charles Cole, fam, you are on your own. Okay? All right, bye.